Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of #Winning. Today, I'm going to give you a little recap of our recent Healthpreneur Live event. This was, bar none, a very, very unique experience for me. And just in case you don't know, Healthpreneur Live is our annual event. We do it every single year, except for the past 3 years because of COVID and lockdowns. So we started the event in 2017, 2018, 2019, and then we took a 3-year hiatus because of the obvious. And then this was the first year we decided to come back and do it in person. So it was interesting in a number of different scenarios. And I want to share some lessons that I think can be very valuable to you and your business as well from this experience. So when we started Healthpreneur Live back in 2017, I wanted to create an experience that was very different from a lot of events that I'd been to in the past, right? It was kind of like the unconference. If you've been to an event where it's like 9 to 6, you're in the room, fire hose like information all day, you don't even see outside, like you're just pumped AC all day long, you're freezing, and you're just overwhelmed after the weekend with so many notes and no to-dos and no action plan. I wanted to create the opposite of that experience because I don't think that's very valuable for most people. I wanted to create an experience that was very special in the sense of helping people connect and build community, and the value coming more even from the downtime than the showtime, if that even makes sense. So providing a lot of organic space, 45-minute breaks, hour-and-a-half lunches, stopping the day early so that people have time to just chill and connect over coffee, hanging by the pool, going for a walk, whatever it might be. Because for me, that's where I found the most value in-person stuff in my life. So that was the ethos, if you will, for Healthpreneur Live from its inception, day one. And that's an ethos that we've always wanted to maintain throughout every single event that we've done. And I think we've done a remarkable job with that. So 2017, 2018, 2019, we did the event, and the reviews and the feedback was phenomenal. We're talking like best event I've ever been to. I've been to a lot of stuff. This is bar none the best event I've ever been to. And we knew that because we take care of the meals. It's beautiful, dinner under the stars. We do really cool activities together. It's just an epic experience. The other thing that we do differently from a lot of other events is that we don't actually bring in famous speakers. I could give a shit hearing from the Gary V's and the Seth Godins and all these different famous speakers. I'm like, they're great people. I can read their books, listen to their podcasts. But in my experience, the most inspirational speakers are our clients who maybe a year ago were in the shoes and seats of those in the audience. And from day one, I wanted our clients to inspire their peers. And that's exactly what we've done. And I think the first 1 or 2 years, we had a couple speakers in, but then we realized that most people just would rather hear from people just like themselves because it's more relatable, right? It's more relatable to see like, man, that person who's in this seat last year, they're speaking on stage. I want to be on stage next year. I can see myself doing what they're doing. And so that's what we did for every event after the first 2, just to give you a bit of context for how we run the event. So 2019 was the last in-person event. Then we took 3 years off. And then this year was the first time we decided to do the event again. Now, the challenge that we ran into was because of the fucked up governments in Canada and the US, the travel between Canada and US was only lifted for unvaxxed in May of this year. So that posed a serious issue for a lot of people in our tribe, myself included, who could not travel for that reason. And we had to make a last minute decision of like, are we going to do this or not? And obviously that was lifted in May, I believe. So initially what was going to happen is we were going to do the events in Playa del Carmen in Mexico and just bypass that altogether. But then we realized the problem with Playa del Carmen in September is it's hurricane season. And then we're like, well, who knows, right? Like the last thing we need is a Category 5 hurricane running through the event and then whatever happens, right? So we decided to delay the signing of the contract and making the decision about doing the event in the first place until May of this year. We just ran the event in September. So in terms of time, it was very, very last minute for a bigger event. So we decided to go back to Scottsdale, which is where we've done the events all previous occasions. We used a different resort this time, which was amazing, and so was the previous resort. So everything worked out well. However, it was a bit more challenging for us because of the fact that it was very, very short short notice relative to maybe having a year heads up. So with that said, I was a little bit worried, to be honest, because I had got I had become complacent and lazy over the past 3 years, not physically, but just in terms of like, do we really, like, is the juice worth the squeeze? Is it worth investing hundreds of thousands of dollars, which is what it cost us to run this event because it's like top notch? And I had all these questions in my mind. It's like, well, like it's so much easier to do everything on Zoom, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And so coming into the event, I wasn't even fully sold, if I'm being very honest, that this is what I wanted to keep doing. It's just kind of like we committed to it, let's do it, and let's just get it done with. So coming into the events, one of the challenges that I faced was it's very hard to sell a live event. Now, that's more of a belief than anything else, so don't take that as gospel. But in my experience, it's been harder to sell seats to a live event than it is to sell something virtually because people have to book a hotel, they have to book flights, they have to take time away from their family. There's a lot of resistance to that. And the other challenge was that most people in our tribe had not been to the previous event in 2019. It was 4 years ago. A couple people had, but most of our newer clients hadn't. So they're like, well, why should I come? Like, what's this all about? As well as to like, so the client, it's mostly a client's event. 90% of the people in the room are clients. Then we open up 10% of spots for guests. So even our clients were like, why should I bother coming? Like, what am I going to get out of this? And I'm thinking that's a very hard question for me to answer because the reality is whatever I say will be the tip of the iceberg in terms of what it's actually like. You can't understand what Healthpreneur Live is like unless you're there. And that still holds true as I'm shooting this after this event, because a lot of people are looking for like the tactical stuff. What am I going to learn? I've heard that before. And it's very, very narrow-minded and short-sighted. And I want to share some of the lessons and takeaways from this event that will hopefully open your horizon to why stuff like this is so meaningful. So coming into the events, I was not certain about whether I wanted to keep doing this. Okay, that was my mindset coming in. We had about 200 people at the event, which was great. Still half of our clients weren't there. So that was one thing I was really disappointed by. And that's something that I don't want to ever happen again. So anyways, I understand, it's all good. So a couple takeaways from the event. So first and foremost, so basically how it laid out was Wednesday, the team flew in, we had a half day, we had kind of just hung out as a team, went for dinner as a team. Thursday morning, we did a team half day, did some cool vision exercises and all that kind of good stuff. And then Thursday afternoon, we had a platinum day. So for anyone who purchased a platinum ticket or had referred someone into the events, they were able to attend a really cool 3-hour session that was much more intimate, us deep diving into your business. It was awesome. And then that evening, we had the reception, early bird registration, all that kind of stuff. And then the actual sessions started on the Friday. By Friday evening, I had spoken to, I don't even know, like 50 plus people who were thanking me. And it was very, very, very weird because, we had done the event in the past many times and I've done a lot of workshops and in-person stuff. And I don't think there was ever a moment that I can think of that I've ever felt so overwhelmed emotionally with, I didn't even know, honestly, it was like, I didn't even know how to do it. Like I had to deal with it. It was very unusual for me because I was overwhelmed by the positive reception after the first day. People were thanking me as if I had just given them water after a 30-day trek in the desert. There was such a need. I sensed that there was this huge need for people to have this connection, this community after all the shit that we've been through for the past 3 years. And I always say isolation kills and community heals. And this was like a big, big reminder of that. So like literally coming into the events, I was like, I'm unsure if I want to keep doing this. By the first day, I'm like 1,000,000% reaffirmed and recommitted to doing this every year because there's only so much you can do virtually. Now, I'm not saying you can't help your clients transform virtually because you 1,000,000% can, and your clients will get better results remotely than you will with them in person. That I can promise you 100% every single time. And if you don't know how to do that, you should be reaching out to us for help. Because our clients, whether they're physical therapists or knowledge workers, it doesn't matter. When the client takes more ownership of their own healing, they get better results. Every single time. There's not a single client I have ever worked with whose clients have not gotten better results working with them virtually than they did in person. That I can tell you with 100% certainty. With that said, there's also a very, very important piece of bringing people together that can never be replicated online. So although client results can definitely be amazing online, the sense of connection and bonding to each other and to the brand is very powerful when it's done in person and when it's done properly in person. So for us, the big lesson was we can help our clients get great results. We can help them get good results online, remotely, 100%, no problem. But if we want to build a brand that stands for more than that, and we do, we want to create a space where people feel connected with each other and that they found their tribe that's high vibe. It's, like nothing can replace what just happened over this past weekend when we had it in Scottsdale. So there was this sense of need for people to come back together and meet in person, connect, find like-minded individuals, and just feel like a second family. Like most of us are crazies, right? Most of us don't have people in our lives who understand what it is we do, right? Your parents might still not know what you do. Like, what do you do online? Oh, how's that like online thing coming along? You never hear someone say, how's that medicine thing coming along? Anytime someone adds thing to the end of what you're doing, they're taking it as a fucking joke. How's that like online business thing going on? Like, fuck off, right? So you need to be surrounded by other crazies who are in the same world as you are. And that's part of the reason that I think all of us start businesses, is to bring people that are like-minded together. And at Healthpreneur Live, we just happen to have about 200 people who are all crazies, understanding each other and high vibe. Here's the cool thing is that the event was really centered around AI as the theme. And we just released some stuff to our clients that are just friggin' unbelievable on the AI front to like 10x the output in a tenth of the time. They were blown away by what we showed them. They were so friggin' pumped. There's 2 sessions we did on that alone that if you came, that in and of itself would have been well worth the trek. And if you missed out on it, you'll never know what I'm talking about. So boo-hoo. Anyways, the bigger thing beyond that was the feedback at the event and after the events, and the overwhelming sense that people could not express in words how they felt, including myself. I can't put into words how I feel right now. I'm still coming down off cloud 9 after Healthpreneur Live. There's a certain energy that happens when you're with people who all vibrate at the same frequency. Now remember, our tribe, we're all like-minded, right? The big thing, other than like the fact of bringing people together, everyone who spoke with me was like, man, like your people are just incredible. They're like the intelligence, the caring, there's no egos, there's no mean girls cliques, there's no drama, there's no bullshit. Everyone is just here to support each other. They're super smart and they're super successful in their respective niches. We're not talking about people who just got certified yesterday. We're talking about practitioners and coaches who've been helping people for years, decades. And you bring those people together and friggin' magic happens. So the people were just blown away by the caliber of people in the room, which is very important to me because no one wants to be in a room with a bunch of dumbasses, right? So our tribe is high vibe and super, super smart and very successful in their own regards. And they're all coming together and they're moving in the same direction of wanting to help a lot of people grow their virtual practices, online businesses, and doing big things in the world. So you have this beautiful combination of the right people and the right type of environment, and you have this high vibration, high energy that can only be explained and felt if you're there. And that's why it's really hard for me to articulate how powerful this event is. If someone's asking me like, why should I attend? I'm like, please don't attend. Stay behind your computer and play small. Please stay at home. Don't worry about booking a flight. Just you stay in your bubble. It's all good. If you don't get it, you don't get it, right? There's a saying that for those who get it, no explanation is needed. For those who don't, no explanation will do. And that's exactly what this is like. All I can share with you is that if you are not at this event, you just missed out big time. And I feel really sorry for you. You have an opportunity to be with us in 2024 because we will be doing the events again in September of 2024. And I'm only going to leave it at that. I'm not going to explain. I don't care what the content is. We've already mapped out the whole event. Like we were just riding the wave afterwards. We kind of planned most of the stuff out. Obviously, some of the details of like the topics we're going to talk about, et cetera, will be ironed out. But I don't even care what will be discussed at the event from a topic perspective. If you are not at Healthpreneur Live in 2024 and you say building your business online is a priority for you and you believe you are someone who's doing big things in this space and you have a big vision and you are not with us in September of next year, you are shooting yourself in the foot and you are going to be so far behind everyone else. So far behind. You're already so far behind because just the AI stuff that we shared, you have no clue about and you are going to struggle big time by not having that in your business. Now that I've inspired and motivated you, there we go. I share this with you because you should feel a tremendous amount of FOMO. Tremendous. I hope it eats you up at night. I do. Because I want you to be uncomfortable. I want you to, like, if you're watching this or listening to this and you were thinking of joining us and you didn't, shame on you. Because you've done a massive disservice to yourself. You've done a massive disservice to your future. You've done a massive disservice to all of the people you could be serving that you're not. And I want you to let that sink in for a second, because you will only get so far by yourself, and you will only get so far hiding behind your computer. And I don't give a shit if you have to get on an airplane, and I don't care if you have to spend a little bit of money to book a hotel room. That's what serious people do. We had many people fly in from the UK, Spain, Ireland, Scotland, Australia, Canada, all around the US. And if it's not convenient for you, then I get it, right? I get it. But don't be surprised if your business struggles. So all I'm going to say is that if you want to join us at the next event next September, well, you better let me know in the comments, because it's going to be by application only. And we're going to be very selective of who we allow into the event if you are not a client. We understand that the community that we have curated is very, very special. And we want to make sure the right people are there. We can only host 250 people at this resort. Like, that's the capacity. Otherwise, it becomes like a liability, right? The resort will not allow us to host more than 250 people in the space. And more than 200 of those people will be our clients. And if you're not currently a client and you want to be at Healthpreneur Live next year, let me know in the comments below so we can make sure that you don't miss out again. Because I'm telling you, you've missed out big time. And I'm not going to keep saying the same thing over and over again, but I will. Anyways, so the big lesson for me was that the importance of bringing people together, at least in our business, is massive. And to see the healing that was created in so many people in terms of their mindset, their energy, their belief, the excuses they're putting behind themselves, the shit that they're no longer willing to tolerate, is just unbelievable. And the thing that we see happen every single time we do this event is after the event, nothing new tactically is implemented, let's say, yet their businesses start to take off. And that's because energetically, they have stepped into the bigger version of themselves that becomes more attractive and magnetic to the results that they want to achieve. And it's already happened. We already seen this after the first couple of days of people kind of returning back home and seeing, their businesses start to take off, and random people reaching out to them to want to work with them, more calls booked, more clients enrolled, high vibe, right? Vibrate high. And that's a big theme of everything we do. If you know me, and like my business and the team and the people we bring together are a reflection of me to some degree. There's a little bit of woo-woo and a little bit of pragmatism combined, right? So there's a lot of spiritual, energetic vibration talk, because that's everything. And we also get into the very tactical, granular stuff as well. And I think a lot of people miss the energetic side of things, and those who are super energetic and woo-woo completely don't even pay attention to the tactical, pragmatic side. We do both, right? We do both, and we do both better than anyone that I'm aware of. We've had people that were, in the space for 10, 15, 20 years who've been to dozens upon dozens upon dozens of conferences, and they're like, I've never experienced anything like this. And we'll include some screenshots throughout this video so you can see what I'm talking about. But they're like, I've been to a lot of conferences in 20 years. I've never, ever, ever experienced anything like this. And it just reminded to me how important the work we're doing is, and the fact that we will continue doing this to bring the right people together, to keep the vibe high, to continue instilling belief and probability that whatever it is you want is inevitable if you have a vision, if you keep working towards it, and more importantly, you continue to surround yourself with the right people and environment that will support you in that journey, because you become a reflection of your environment. And if your environment is shit with people who don't understand what you're doing, then your business will reflect that. But if you're around people who are high vibe, who are working toward the same goal, who have a big vision, who want to support each other, it's inevitable that you will crush your goals. And I would just hate for you to miss out on that opportunity again. And if you're watching this or listening to this and you were with us, then I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. I really, really do. As I mentioned at the event, it means a tremendous amount to me. I have a tremendous amount of respect for those who go through a brick wall to fly across the country or the world to experience something that they may have never experienced before. And if that's you, I want to really commend you for being the type of person who does what it takes, because you will reap the fruits of those decisions, and you probably already have. And I know for me, when I was starting my business online back in 2005, 2006, I decided to do things all by myself in isolation. And that's why I struggled with poverty line income and no progress for almost 4 years. And the decision that changed my life in 2010 was to actually start going to live events and find a coach who could show me the way. And that was the intention I set. I didn't have the money for it, and I made it happen. I threw it on credit cards. I didn't give a shit because I knew I had to do something different. And I knew that going alone was not going to get me to where I wanted to go. There's a saying that something along the lines of like, when the winter winds blow, the pack survives and the lone wolf dies. And I don't want you to be the lone wolf. I want you to tap into the community that we've built. If you're watching my videos and you're not a Healthpreneur Live next year, you might as well just unsubscribe, right? I appreciate you watching these videos, but if you're enjoying this stuff, you got to be with me in person, right? Wouldn't it be so much more enjoyable if we're hanging out, dancing together, going for hikes, experiencing awesomeness, breaking bread together, being surrounded by other amazing people? This is the opportunity you have at your fingertips. And I don't want to hear the excuses, right? This series, #winning, is about no fucking excuses. Don't give me the bullshit of like, I'm busy, it's too cold, it's too inconvenient. That's loser speak. Losers talk like that. You're not watching this if you're a loser. So stop making excuses. Let me know in the comments if I can count you in at next year's events. And remember, this is an application-only process, and there'll be a maximum of 50 spots for next year's events. It will be in September, most likely, in Scottsdale. So just mark the whole fucking month unavailable. And when we know the specific dates, we will let you know. But this isn't for everyone. This is for only people, health professionals and coaches, who want to do big things, who have a strong vision, and they just know they're not going to get where they want to go by themselves. If that's you, then I want to give you this opportunity to transform your life. When I went to my first couple events in 2010, and I'm going to finish with this, hopefully this really hits home. I went to 3 live events in 2010. And from those events, I met, at the time, the most influential people in the health and wellness space online. And to this day, most of them are still my friends. To this day, we've generated multiple millions of dollars together. And we've helped so many people to better health and obviously improving their businesses as well. That never would have happened had I decided to hide behind my computer and message some people on Facebook. Nothing replaces being in person with people. The very fact that you can meet one person or get one idea could change your future forever. Scottsdale is a very special place for me because the second mastermind that I took part in 2012 was actually hosted in Scottsdale. And I, went down there a couple times a year. And I want to share with you how powerful this is. And I want to share this for anyone who's thinking, what's the ROI on this? I want to blow that fucking bullshit out of your mind because it's a stupid fucking thought. What's the ROI on this event? Okay? I'm going to blow that out of the water. In 2012, I went to one of the mastermind events in Scottsdale with the group I was a part of. At that event, I met an individual who was also in the health space. We kind of knew each other, but never connected. When you're in person, well, guess what happens? You get to befriend each other and great things happen. We started supporting their business. They supported our business. They had a big launch, and this is a very big company that I'll just remain anonymous just for privacy reasons, but you've probably seen them. Very big business, worldwide presence, and we became one of their top joint venture partners. Because of that, I was invited to a small mastermind they hosted for their top partners. There were 10 people in the room. One of those people was Reed Tracy, the CEO of Hay House. And up until that point, I had really admired Hay House. I always wanted to publish a book with them. And guess what happened? Reed was right there, who was an amazing human being. And I went up to him. I'd never met him before, but now I'm in a room with 10 people. Proximity is power. And I said, hey, Reed, I have an idea for a book. And I just gave him a little bit of a spiel. And I said, would it be possible that we connect sometime this week? And he said, sure. 3 days later, we connected. I gave him the breakdown of what I was thinking about. The next day, he gave me a book offer. That book became the #2 New York Times bestseller, The All Day Energy Diet, which became a Wall Street Journal and a USA Today bestseller. Because of that, unlocked a high 6-figure next book deal with Rodale, which is now Crown Publishing. I share this with you because if you're thinking of, I got to spend a little bit of money to be at this event, shut the fuck up and think bigger, okay? You're going to make infinitely more than that if you understand that value is extracted, not given to you. It's caught, not taught. If you're the type of person who can show up and be of value to other people and extract value and take action on it, this will be the single best thing you ever do in your life other than obviously working with us in our HBA coaching program. Another interesting thing happened recently. So we're hiring a new director of marketing and put out some, went through a whole like process that we have. And I put out a feeler to my local peeps in my network. And one of the guys who I am in a mastermind with, there it is again, made an introduction to me. And the person he introduced, we hired as our director of marketing. This guy is an absolute ace, way better than me in marketing. And to think of how important that decision, like how important that one introduction was, I've been in this mastermind now for the past 6 years. And even if I didn't do anything in the mastermind, even if I never showed up, even if I never consumed a piece of content, even if I never went to any of the events, nothing, which by the way, I've done all that. But even if I had done none of that, this one introduction alone was worth the past 6 years. And this is the mindset I want you to really adopt, is it's not about what am I going to get from this? How much money am I going to make relative to the ticket price? Man, that's fucking loser speak. Winners think long-term, think bigger, think forever, because you will make friendships and relationships that you will never otherwise make. You will be connected with me personally. I promise you, if you're at this event, we will be hanging. I don't just speak on stage and disappear. I'm not like one of those fucking retarded gurus who's too cool for school, who just lives in their penthouse room and never talks to their audience. I'm hanging with you, man. We're hanging by the pool. We're chatting it up. I'm getting into your business, and I'm there with you every single day because I care. I give a shit. But if you don't give a shit about your future, then there's not much I can do. And I can promise you that if you're in this room, if you're at this event with us, you will not be the same person. And you'll get what I'm talking about here. You won't even be able to explain to other people what it's like. You're like, dude, you just got to be here, man. I can't even explain it. You have to experience the energy. And that's the secret, is that the ROI on these type of experiences is infinite. It's infinite because of the relationships, because of the energy, because of the expansiveness in beliefs, the mindset shifts. And yeah, the tactical stuff is awesome. But the other stuff, the kind of the intangibles, the inexplainable stuff is what's really, really powerful. So I want to leave you with that. And just, again, my big takeaway was the fact that like I am all in on continuing to do this because I had a moment of doubt because I was complacent because of lockdowns and Zoom was easier. No. This event is just unbelievable. So I want you to let me know in the comments if you want to join us next year. Okay? And if you do, I'm going to make a note of your name. We'll make sure that we can reach out and contact you because we will be announcing the dates in the coming, maybe even next week. I don't even know. We're solidifying the dates. We have the same resort and I want to make sure you get in before you miss out because I promise you this time, this sucker will be sold out even before we get into the new year. And I would hate for you to miss out. I want you to be there with us. If you've been watching my videos and you've been enjoying my stuff, I want you there with me in person. I give you everything I can in these videos. I never make an ask ever. I give away all my best tactical and strategic stuff. You know that. And if there's one ask I make of you, it's not even for me. It's for you. It's to be at Healthpreneur Live 2024 with us. Block off September next year. Keep it open. And when I have the dates, I'll let you know. But for now, I need to know in the comments if you want to be there. Cool? I appreciate you joining me today. Hope this has been inspiring. And I look forward to seeing you in person next September.